Hey everyone, Allison Kinnear here. I'm back. Happy New Year. I'm coming to you from my messy office intentionally. Well, it's not intentionally messy, but I wanted to show you that, it may be a new year and yet life is still very lifey, right? When I think about the new year, I get very excited. I'm like, ooh, what am I going to do differently? I look back at the year that just passed and go, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to change? And I have this fantasy, and I don't know if you have it too, but I have this fantasy that I will be able to do all of those things once I get my act together. Once my office is clean, once my Christmas gifts are finally sent out to everyone, once all of the things that the kitchen is clean, like when I get all of my things together, then I will be able to move forward in these changes. And what I have found is that is a Hallmark HGTV fantasy that just doesn't exist. We have to make changes in life. I have to make changes. You have to make changes in life that happens even when life is lifey, even when the office is a mess, even when the house is a wreck, even when the kids are sick, when work is demanding. These are the conditions. There's not going to be a time when all of that magically disappears and then suddenly you can be in a space to grow and thrive in the way that you want to. So I want to just take a moment to acknowledge December just happened. For those of you who celebrate Christmas or have kids or just exist in this society, you know that December is a very busy month. And then we get hit with January, like join that gym membership and do all these things. And yet there's not really a lot of recovery time. Our society doesn't do recovery time really well. And so as you step into the new year, my invitation to you is number one, don't buy into the HGT fantasy that everything is going to be all neat and tidy and organized. And that once it's neat and tidy and organized, then you can do things. It's like, no, it doesn't exactly work that way. But to take a moment and have some compassion for yourself that you just did a heavy lift. You just did a hard thing. You had one holiday of Thanksgiving. You had the massive lift of creating a holiday environment, of navigating holiday societal stuff, and then of taking it down and all the things that were needed there. And then boom, society also is now blanketing with all these new year, new you, bombarding of ads and pressures. And then now we're supposed to just keep going, right? Now let's make some improvements. It's a vulnerable time. And so don't buy into the fantasy, have some compassion for yourself. And then the thing that I think about when it comes to making changes, because of course we want to grow, we want to keep going forward in life. And I just posted about this week, is like, we get caught up in the doing. I've got to do the thing. I've got to do the next thing. I want to take this action in the next year. But I think the part that we kind of skip over is getting into the mindset. Why? Why do you want to join the gym? Why do you want to make the change that you want to make? We have to sometimes stop and take some time, not in the doing, but in creating the mind space, creating the good mental space so that it can help you in the doing. So I'll give you a quick example. I have known, I will tell you, for probably over 20 years, there has been a part of me that has been like, I want to be vegetarian. And I have ignored that strongly for a really long time. But it kept coming up. And it just felt like too hard, too much, whatever. And then eventually I was like, okay, this whole food, plant-based stuff, I want to do it, but I don't want to just do it to lose weight, to get off blood pressure medication, because none of those whys really are sustainable to me. Like, why do I want to go to a plant-based diet? Nothing was really motivating me, because what's going to sustain me? What's going to sustain me during the birthday parties? What's going to sustain me during the holidays? What's going to sustain me when I'm stressed? Why do I want to make this change? And I'll tell you, it took almost a month of just sitting with this question of, what is the why that makes me cry? What is the why that makes me cry? What is the why I want to make this change? And it's so deep that it can almost elicit tears. Like, it moves me that much. And that why to me was thinking about my kids and growing up and maybe having families of their own. And when I think about how I want to be in those moments, that is the why that can bring those tears up. And it's like, that's it. And that why of being really friendly with my body, it's the only one I have for this whole life. And I want to really listen to it. And I want to really become friends with it. That to me is more sustainable than I want to lose weight. I want to get off my medication. It's like, well, why do I want to lose weight? Why do I want to get off my medication? There's a why under there. Keep looking for that why, because when you can find the why that makes you cry, it can sustain you for a lot longer. Okay. And then I think the other thing just to think about is to have a great deal of compassion for yourself. You just did a big, heavy lift. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, we as a society were just bombarded with a lot of advertisements, with a lot of energy around Christmas, around New Year's, around all of the things, a lot of pressures with family and whatnot. That just happened. And so as you start something new, if you are starting something new, have a great deal of compassion for yourself. It's okay if it takes time. It's okay if it takes time to find the why that makes you cry. It's okay if it takes time for you to separate out what the HGTV fantasy is from the reality. It's okay if things are a mess for a little while. You can still move forward. Okay? So this is a new year. And yes, it's a new you, but it's also the same you, right? New life, but the same life. So this month, I'm going to be talking all about that, how change happens, how we move through change, some of the pitfalls around change. How do we have a lot of grace and compassion for ourselves as we move through change? We're going to be riffing on that all month long, because whether it's the new year or it's just a Tuesday in April, it doesn't matter. These things matter, right? These patterns around how do you change, how do you sustain change, they show up not just in January, but they show up for the rest of our lives. If you like my content, please feel free to like, comment, and share. It makes the algorithmic gods happy. I am going to be sharing some weekly things on my newsletter that goes straight to your email box. So if you want to join the email list, hop over to my website at AllisonKinnear.com, and there will be a pop-up for joining the email list. I would love to stay connected with you, and I wish you all the best in the new year. I will see you all next week.